What is up, my friends? Thank you for joining me today. Today, man, I'm going to be talking about the psychedelic nature of semen retention. And when I say the word psychedelic, I am not talking about the classification of drugs, because the word psychedelic at its core, if you take the Greek words that we used to make the word psychedelic, you will understand that the word psychedelic means consciousness expanding or mind manifesting. And when you look at it like this, you understand that not just drugs are psychedelic, but music can be psychedelic, art can be psychedelic, conversation can be psychedelic, meditation can be psychedelic. A lot of things can be psychedelic by nature. And semen retention is one of those things that are just extremely psychedelic, especially when you get into these very long streaks. And looking back at the days where I was kind of a psychonaut, I honestly feel like I have a lot of like revelations and epiphanies like in today's day that I would have that are comparable to the times where I was tripping. And I feel like this is because I am on like the path of retention. I am holding in my seed, and this is naturally expanding my consciousness. I've noticed just over the past, I think I'm 450 something days, but just over these past several hundred days, my consciousness, my mind has just changed so much looking back at it. And it's kind of like a slow psychedelic drip, kind of the way I'm looking at it now. Because when you take a psychedelic like a heroic dose, which I don't suggest any of you do, if you want to do that, do your own research, but I don't suggest anybody do it. So, but if you do take like a heroic dose, it changes you like almost immediately. You get out of that experience and it changes your mind, the way you think, the way you view the world, etc. And this is what I've noticed has happened to me to a much larger degree than what I thought I would have experienced originally. But the reason this is because I am plugged in right now. When you take a psychedelic, it plugs you into the infinite intelligence of the universe. And this infinite intelligence that it's plugging you into is a completely uncontrolled experience. You have all of this stuff happening to you, this insanity that you're going through. You're going through a roller coaster of emotions, revelations, thoughts, and whatever. And it's just a giant ass learning experience. It can be the worst of times and it can be the best of times. And that is because it is completely uncontrolled. You are at the will of the substance you took, the spirit that you accepted into your body. And retention is just a much more natural, controllable way of plugging yourself into the universe to where you get these revelations and epiphanies and very deep understandings of yourself, what you're supposed to be doing at a very controlled, natural rate. That is why after experiencing what I have, I would just, if somebody wants to experience psychedelic, I'd say, I don't recommend it, but go for it if you want. Maybe it's because I got it out of my system when I was younger, but also it's just feels so much more natural to come to these conclusions on your own, to try reaching this naturally without a substance, without a cheat code. And I'm not trying to hate on psychedelics at all, because I do think there's a place for them. It kind of changed me a lot when I was at a point where it would have taken me a while to get to where I am now. So I feel like it changed me early on to the point where I'm more understanding and acceptable of things. And I don't want to rob that experience from anybody as well. So that is just completely up to you. I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, I would just stick with the retention, doing this work on yourself, on your own time, on your own seed, and just watching yourself grow over time. It is worth it and you will excel. And also, I just don't think the Western civilizations have a good way of just administrating psychedelics. South American traditions, a lot of their cultures, they have good like ways of administrating psychedelics in like terms of set and setting and all that. Just in like where it's just completely illegal where we are. So it's really just, it adds that whole sketch factor to it. So I just really don't recommend it for that reason as well. And I'm excited for a lot of you that are starting to get into longer streaks, because you really don't know what you're in for. What your view is of yourself and the world and what you're supposed to be doing here is going to become very clear to you eventually if you stay on your grind and you just stay connected and plugged in. There's nothing that will keep you from reaching this understanding and having this psychedelic experience on retention. And also, I'm just excited to see what I experience the further I go, 600 days in, 800 days in, 1,000 days in if I make it. I'm just very excited to see the evolution of my mentality, my consciousness over the time period. And the thing is too, even if you do mess up, you release or whatever, as long as you stay on this journey and you're trying your best the whole way through, you are going to notice this psychedelic experience as well. You are going to change and you are going to better yourself over time. So don't be too worried about messing up and releasing, because as long as you are trying and you are just doing your best on this journey, you are going to do great. But anyways, guys, that is the video for today. Hope you guys learned something. If so, drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And as always, you have a great day. Peace.